Hey friends, Marcus here. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you on how to convert your overseas license to a Victoria, Australia driving license. So basically, if you have an overseas license and you want to convert it, you do need to follow a few steps to convert your overseas license. Depending on which passport holder you are from, you might not need to redo the online test or practical test. So basically, I know if you have an American driving license or a British driving license, you don't need to redo the practical test or driving test. But if you are from certain countries, you do need to redo those tests. So today's video, I'll be exploring, basically sharing with you what you need to do to convert your overseas license and the three simple process that you need to complete. So the first one is the online theory test. Second one is the hazard test. Third one is the practical test. So basically, it's just this three which you need to complete. In terms of the online theory test, what happens is that you will log in and then do the basic training, which is on this platform, the VIX Road platform. You can just go to this website and then you create an account, and then you learn about the road rules, about how to do a hook turn, how to park, understand the parking rules. So certain areas you can park for 2 hours. After that, you would need to pay certain areas. So getting an understanding on how to perform to be a good and law-abiding driver on the road. So that's really, really important. And then that is for the online test. It's basically free. After that, you need to do the hazard test. What I really like about it is that it teaches you the road rules, but more than that, it teaches you to make wise decisions. So for example, if you go out drinking with your friends, the wise decision would be to basically have a safe designated driver or to leave your car somewhere and Uber back. So they teach you how to adopt real world scenarios into your practical applications. And also for the hazard test, it kind of teaches you it analyzes and tests how you respond to hazardous situations. For example, heavy weather conditions, or if some animal jumps out into the road. It teaches you how to respond and react to analyze your response time towards hazard and whether you're a fit driver for the road. So both are really, really important for the safety. Obviously, when you're on the road, you want to be safe. You want to make sure that people around you are safe. So I think both are very, very important. So I really appreciate that because I've taken my license elsewhere, and it didn't really have the real world application on thinking about, okay, what is the right decision. So sometimes there could be a shorter route whereby it is shorter, but the road is probably more dangerous or too windy, or a longer route whereby the road is longer but it's on a highway, it's safer, it's lighted up, and how we should use the longer route because it's safer. So keeping in mind safety is always the key, which I really do appreciate when I did the online test and the hazard test. And then the last part was the driving test. So the driving practical test, basically what you need to do is to do the parking, which is the parallel parking, 3-point turn, and then you'll be driving on the normal road, basically, depending on where you book, Carlton, Deer Park, Werribee. So depending on where you book. So basically, keep in mind that if you are from overseas, you can only use your overseas license for 6 months. Beyond that, you need to get your Australian license. You need to convert your Australian license, and if you are, depending on your passport, you are able to just convert it without doing any tests. But if you are from certain countries, you might need to do this 3-step, which is to sit all these 3 tests, online, hazard, and practical tests. Once you've completed all 3 and passed successfully, then they will issue you your VIX Road license, which has a validity depending on which one that you choose, either 3 years or 10 years. So in terms of the cost, the good thing about it is, I'll just show you here the costs. If you sit the online test, it's basically free. And then if you want to enroll again, if you didn't pass, then you need to pay a small amount, which is reasonable. And then the in-person test is $48. So advisable for you to do it free, especially on your first attempt. It is free. And then for the hazard test, basically it's free on the first attempt. But if you fail, you need to pay $20. I think I might have paid the $20 in my second attempt. And if you choose to do it in person, it's $41. So basically, it's better to do everything online, especially in your first attempt, because it's free. And if you do need to resit it, it's reasonable at $20 or $26. And then for the practical driving test, it is $71.20 for this. So for my case, what I did was I got a few lessons, because I do have my license, but I had my license 10 years ago. So when I lived in Europe, I didn't really need to drive. So it's more of a refresher course to keep myself alert, up to date on, okay, these are the rules, how do I make sure I'm conscientious and a law-abiding driver when I'm on the road. To keep in mind on doing the head checks, especially when you're stopping, to look at the top mirror, to look at your side mirrors, just being aware of all those small things and making sure that you stop at the stop sign. When you're doing 3-point turn, making sure that you look behind, look to your side. All those safety, the key message at the end of the day is to focus on safety. As long as you're safe, that's the most important thing. So in terms of doing that, I did that. I did about 4 or 5 lessons, which I thought was very helpful. So I found a driving instructor that helped me. We did 4 or 5 lessons. I also got him to kind of teach me a few things about the hook turn, to familiarize myself better with certain parts of, for example, certain junctions, doing 3-point turns, signaling, all those good stuff. So that was really helpful. And then once I've completed that successfully, I did the test, which they tested me on the few basic stuff. First of all was the car. How do you use the hazard lights, indicators, making sure that the car was functioning well, and you know the functions on how to use the car. So for me, I basically used my instructor's car, so I paid him to rent his car for the test, which I can't remember how much, but it was I paid him for that, to rent the car, and also I booked the appointment, so I did the test. And then basically what happens is he sits on my left hand side and the examiner sits behind. So she'll give the instructions, you just have to follow the instructions. The key is always to be safe, making sure that you don't speed past the speed limit, and that you don't do things that could fail you immediately, which is kind of speeding past a red light, those kind of big stuff. But other than that, it's quite straightforward. And once you complete it, it's very rewarding, because you've already completed all 3. It keeps you up to date as a conscious driver, as a law-abiding driver, and the whole process for me took roughly about 6 months, because I was doing the online test slowly, and then I was busy with other things on my plate. And then when I had time, I did the hazard test. After that, I booked an appointment, because I think they were quite busy during the period. I booked an appointment, and then I did the test towards the middle of the year. So all in all, the whole process is, it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, especially when you want to convert it. So it's good to be prepared. It's good to kind of set a plan. Then you can work systematically from getting the three of the requirements done. So once you've got the 3 requirements done, it's a very simple process. So that's basically it in terms of getting the test. Everything is on the website here. If you want to get your license, you can just go to this website. Everything is here. And if you have any questions, you can also refer to this website, which I'll include down to the link below. So really hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, do let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much again for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.